Hello, welcome to the Jim Kleiber Show. Today is Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021, and I am playing with my mustache. If you can't tell, I have flipped it up a little bit here. Never had a mustache in my life, definitely not this long. It's kind of fun. Yeah. Today's Wednesday. The impeachment trial starts next week. The sun is shining, the snow is outside. Some parts of the country got nailed with snow. I think some places, I think New York City, Central Park got like 1.5 feet of snow, and some other places got maybe up to 2 or 3 feet of snow. We just got about 3 or 4 inches, nothing too big, easy to shovel, kind of just enough to coat the ground and make everything look pretty and bright. Part of me is getting bored just talking to the camera. I'm not gonna lie. It's like just talking to myself. It reminds me of Stephen Colbert when he first started doing his show at home. They called it A Late Show with Stephen Colbert instead of The Late Show. And when he first started doing it, it was really just him talking to the camera. Maybe his wife was sitting by with him. But after being used to speaking to such an audience and having such a reaction, kind of the interplay between speaker and listener and listener and speaker. He said it was pretty hard on him as well. And so sometimes I think we can do things, or I can do things, and I can forget that it's hard for other people as well. I go through this process and I go, gosh, why am I struggling with this? Why am I so frustrated some days? Why am I so lethargic or so hesitant to do something? Or why does it just not feel so lively? Why do I not feel so motivated or excited to do the show? And I wrongfully assume that other people don't go through this struggle. And so I think it's sometimes nice for us to pull back and realize that a lot of other people are struggling much more than they say they are. What did somebody say to me once back in the day? They said, the problem is we see the whole game that we play, but we only see the highlight reel of the other people. And so for someone who watches a lot of sports, you may realize that, watching a game can be really boring most of the time, and that there's only a few moments throughout the game where there's incredible joy or triumph and pride. And so the highlights typically just show those moments of triumph, those moments of strength, and not the moments of weakness or loss or sadness or frustration or anger or confusion. So I try to remember that. Again, a lot of these things are things that are easy to maybe understand in our head, but very hard to do in our bodies. It's easy for me sometimes to remember that other people are also struggling, but it's hard for me to actually feel that. I was talking to a friend today, and she's dating some guy, and I was like, oh, who's the new guy? And she says, I can't tell you. I said, you can't tell me. She says, he wants to remain anonymous. And there was a part of me that got so annoyed and so frustrated. Who is this guy to want to remain anonymous? Who does he think he is? He thinks he's so special and this and that. And then I told her, I said, listen, it kind of annoys me when people say they, want to keep a secret from me. I like to know, I'm super curious. I like to know what's going on. And then I also feel kind of hurt that the person doesn't trust me with the secret. And then I also told her, though, well, but you know what? I imagine maybe he's a famous person and he's so tired of being in the spotlight and he just wants to have a little bit of privacy. Maybe he is a rich person who wants to not have his dating life splashed all over the internet. Maybe he's, who knows? And really, so I started to imagine different ways in which he could be suffering. And I honestly felt so much better. I felt so much better. He changed from being this elitist asshole who doesn't want me to know who he is because he thinks he's so much better than me, to a dude who's probably just so tired of it all and just wants a little bit of breathing space to kind of do what he wants to do. And so just such a simple, short, quick exercise flipped me into, oh, wait a second. He's probably suffering too. He's not wanting this privacy because he's feeling so much joy and love in the world, most likely. It's probably that he maybe is scared of he has something special and he doesn't want it to get ruined by media attention. Or maybe he's in a relationship. Maybe he's married to somebody, and he fell in love with this other girl and he's really confused. He doesn't know what to do. Or maybe he's getting divorced from the first person and he's afraid that if that person finds out that he's got someone else, then she'll think that he was cheating on her all along, and that it will just create much more of a legal mess than he could ever imagine. Who knows? But by just pausing to imagine how that person may be especially feeling, but especially suffering, pain that they might be feeling, I felt so much better. And so maybe you've been doing something throughout COVID, through pandemic, and you think that you're the only one suffering. I mean, I can tell you I've been there. God, I think, oh, I'm so unfortunate. Oh, my body is aching. Oh, I feel so weak. I feel so unaccomplished. I feel so unproductive. I feel so, et cetera, lazy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I think other people don't. I think other people aren't struggling. I know other people are struggling, but I don't fully feel it. And so, again, I think, I call it step 2. I think step 1 is really important, just recognizing how we're feeling. And I think step 2 is really important, and to recognize how other people might be feeling, because it can really help us disarm some of the feelings that we have. Some of my anger and some of my jealousy over this guy. Oh, he's dating this girl. I think she's cute. Oh, who is he? Who does he think he is? Frustration, jealousy, annoyance that he won't tell me who he is. To, oh no, maybe kind of pity or sympathy or worry for the guy, because not knowing how much strife he actually might be going through. And I felt so much better. I feel so much better thinking that the other person is suffering instead of thinking that I'm the only one suffering. And maybe the other person's not suffering. At the end of the day, I don't even know what the guy's identity is. So I don't know if there's any way I'll know what his emotional state is. But sometimes I don't think it really even matters. I think it's more of an exercise for ourselves to recognize that we are not alone in the shame, sadness, confusion, anger, frustration, annoyance, hesitancy, lethargy, fatigue, etc., etc. That other people might be feeling these things too. So, is there someone in your life that you think is that annoys you because they look perfect? Who would that person be? And have you ever thought that they actually might not be feeling perfectly? Have you actually tried to imagine what they might be feeling? What they might be feeling about their professional, like their work experience, their work situation, what they might be feeling about their financial situation, what they might be feeling about their physical health, how they might be feeling about their future, how they might be feeling about their past, how they might be feeling about their romantic situation, how they might be feeling about so many different things in life, the political situation in their country, how they might be feeling when they think about their kind of like family situation. So many different things that can cause so many feelings, and there's a good chance that one of them is one of those contexts or situations is causing them to feel anger or sadness or confusion or doubt or helplessness, something that sometimes we can think we're the only ones feeling. Oh, God, another 17 minutes of the show. Do I really want to go 17 minutes? It's funny. When I first started doing podcasting, I started off doing emotional reflection drills that were about 5 minutes long and 10 minutes long each. And then I came up with something those were like helping people get better at reflecting and communicating emotions. So how do you feel when you think about this? How do you feel when you think about that? Et cetera, et cetera. Basically step 1 and step 2 and step 3 drills. And I realized that a lot of that was focusing the attention on other people. So I wanted to start basically doing step 1 for myself and opening up and sharing things about myself to others. And so I came up with something I was calling Daily Jim, which was just, I think, 5 minutes of me opening up and sharing. I don't know how that 5 minutes turned into 30 minutes. How did I get to the point where I'm talking for 30 minutes? Do people actually listen to 30 minutes of me talk? I don't know. Goodness. But now we're here on episode 111. And for almost every single episode, minus maybe 10 or so, I've just spoken to the camera. So that's at least 100 episodes of me talking for 30 minutes. That's 50 hours? Hold on, my mustache is falling down. I feel a lot more mischievous with the mustache curled up like this. It's amazing what our look can do to change our emotional situation, what our posture can do, what even the sunshine can do. When we see the sun reflecting off us in a different way compared to when there's no sunshine out. Speaking of posture, I'm looking at myself. I'm like, wow, is my one shoulder that much higher? What's going on? Oh, it's amazing the things we don't notice, or the things that happen from using the phone all the time. That's a side conversation in itself, just how phones and computers are really messing up our posture. And I think I've noticed for myself, I have a tendency to lean in with my neck because I'm looking at the screen, trying to get closer to it, or trying to see the TV, or trying to see the computer. So I lean in a little bit, which screws up my posture. Screws up my neck, tightens these muscles, tightens these shoulders, turn in a little bit more, so these muscles tighten up, kind of cascades down the body. What else? Today's just kind of a mixed bag. Yeah, so maybe I'd suggest just pausing and trying to do that step 2 exercise and just imagining that other people might be suffering too. It's not just you. We're not the only ones that are suffering in this world, or you are not the only person suffering in this world. And I don't mean to say that in a facetious or, kind of condescending way. Like I said, I forget this all the time. I look at the Jeff Bezos or the Elon Musks, and I go, oh, they're so lucky. They have so much money. They have so much power. They have so much fame. People listen to them. Oh, people fawn over them. And then I go, how do I imagine it might feel to have people fawn over me? In some ways, maybe grateful. In other ways, disgusted. I might feel disgusted. I might feel doubtful or embarrassed or annoyed or frustrated or tired. I imagine going into a conversation and just having people be like, oh my God, you're the best thinker, or you're the best entrepreneur ever. And just feeling that almost dread sometimes, like, oh, I don't want to go to that conversation and just hear people say how I am this godlike figure. So I imagine that maybe they do suffer. Maybe they do want more privacy. Maybe they feel kind of like a fraud, so kind of like afraid that people will figure out that they're not as smart as everyone thinks they are, or afraid that people will realize that they, like Jeff Bezos was having an affair. I can't imagine how much it might have hurt to have the whole world pay attention to an affair you were going through. And it wasn't just any affair, wasn't it? There was something like nude photos of him were threatened to be leaked by one of the tabloid newspapers in New York, I think it was. So just kind of so many like pain points that come with being that famous or that rich. And I know I can overlook it a lot of times. I mean, I can overlook it sometimes when I just look at somebody who is like an Instagram model, whether it's a girl or a guy, and be like, oh my God, they're so lucky. Look at them. You know, they live the best life. They have so much money and so much attention. They can wear any clothes that they want. They look good and everything. And just kind of, again, pulling back and imagining, okay, say that they looked good and everything. I imagine they might sometimes feel frustrated not knowing what to buy because everything would look good. That's an annoyance that maybe some of us can't experience. I experience that more so when it comes to careers or kind of jobs. That I've been, I think, blessed in many ways that I can learn things pretty quickly. And I'm quite interested in a lot of things. And so for me to take a job, like, oh, I could do this or I could do this, but what I could do this, what if I could do that? I could do so many different things. Sometimes I get so frustrated because I don't know what to choose. And some people go, oh, you're so lucky. You have all these different options. It's like, I don't feel lucky in many ways. Yes, I mean, sometimes, yes, I feel grateful for it. But it also drives a lot of frustration and anxiety and fear that I'll make the wrong choice. Whereas I know other people who have told me that they don't have so many options when it comes to jobs or things like this. Sometimes feel quite relaxed because they're like, well, I don't have the anxiety of maybe making the wrong choice because there aren't that many choices. They may have the anxiety of not having enough choices and feeling trapped and feeling stuck, having to do something that they don't necessarily want to do, but don't think that they're good at other things or know that they're maybe not so good at the other things. And so I think so often we can get stuck in this trap of just assuming that the other person is happy or is excited or is grateful or feels lucky or fortunate or blessed because they have the thing that we wish to have. But it doesn't mean that they necessarily want to have it as much as we do. Or it doesn't mean that we know how we would feel if we did have it. So many of us, oh my gosh, I would feel so great if I were just rich, or if I just had that perfect job, or if I just had that perfect spouse, or if I had 2 kids, or if I had a car or this house, or if I lived in this place or that place. I mean, they say the grass is greener on the other side, and I think it's because it looks green. Maybe it's the grass looks greener on the other side. So we look at it, and the grass looks greener, but then we go over there, we're like, oh no, it's still grass. We still got to water it, we still got to mow it, we still got to fertilize it, we still got to do all this stuff to take care of it. And it may be greener, but it's maybe more of a pain to cut, right? I talk about that. My sister has incredibly straight hair, straight, like shiny hair. And I have this like curly, kind of chaotic, wow, gosh, oh man, my head. Curly hair. And growing up, I wanted straight hair so badly. So badly. I tried to make it look straight as possible. I've put in like gel and tried to really make it look straight because everyone else had straight hair. And apparently she wanted curly hair and still wants curly hair. And I'm like, you don't recognize the struggles that we have with curly hair. Curly hair is not, it's all cracked up to be. You can't really control it much. Whereas like straight hair, you can control it a lot. But you also can't put volume into straight hair. A lot of times straight hair just falls flat, whereas curly can have a lot more volume. There's things that make us feel all different things. And I think sometimes when we look at the other person, we just assume that they're only feeling the positive emotions of the thing, and forgetting that they might also be feeling the negative. Actually, almost certainly feeling the negative emotions of the thing as well. Yeah. I don't know. just an exercise for us to practice. So anyways, nobody's chatting in the comments. I don't know what's going on the other side. Anyone paying attention? What are you feeling? What are you thinking? Throw something out. I can throw it back. We can play a little catch right now. But otherwise, I might cut the show short, end in about 2 minutes. Sometimes it feels nice to get out of class early, when the teacher says, you know what, we just don't have that much material. I'm going to let you go 5 minutes early. Just relax, take your time. No need to rush to your next class. Just give you a short breather so that you can really soak up the day, move a little bit more slowly. Que me dice, that's what they'd say in Costa Rica, which means, what are you saying to me, my friend? Pretty much. My is a slang term for my friend. Oh, I miss other languages. Sitting here in the house. Oh, goodness. Vaccines, please come soon. Coordination and group cohesion and cooperation, please come soon. Collaboration, please get stronger and stronger so that so many of us can move around again and see our friends and see strangers and meet new people and just be out and about interacting with other humans again. It's been a long year. But again, reminding myself that as much as I'm suffering in some ways, there are other people who are suffering in ways that I'm not remembering, that some people have lost loved ones, some people have lost jobs, some people have lost homes, some people have lost citizenship, some people have lost ability to access certain internet platforms and communities. Some people have lost so much. So again, that's not to say that my suffering doesn't count. It's not to say that their suffering doesn't count either. It's to say that we are all suffering in different ways. And if we united along those feelings, instead of trying to unite along the contexts or the things that are causing those feelings, then we might actually see each other and feel each other a little more closely. So on that note, I'm going to end class. I'm going to end this show 4 minutes early and let you have a wonderful, sunny, snowy, rainy, hot, cold, mixed, foggy, whatever climate you're having in the place you are, because you know what? It's okay. The world spins round and round, and if we didn't have weather changes, life would be pretty boring sometimes. Au revoir. So I say, what's au revoir? It's like to the next view. Revoir is to see again, until we see again, I guess, from my fancy astrological thing behind me. Ciao, y'all.